Right. Hello, welcome everybody. Hope you're having a really good time. In May 1986, a wonderful event happened. I was lucky enough to buy a block of land, including this field. And a few days later, things got even better when Rosanna was born, and has been of joy ever since. Although teaching her to drive was interesting, but eventually she turned out to be a very good driver. I can remember when we took her to Lincoln to start university and leaving her on the Saturday afternoon, a bit tearful, but she soon made really good friends, some of whom are here today: Tim, Harry, Jimmy, Matt and Maddie. Thank you all for looking after her. What could I say about Duncan? When your daughter gets married, you expect a new branch on your family tree. But what are we getting? A twig. Albeit quite a tall twig. Joking apart, we are very happy to welcome Duncan into our family, along with the rest of his family. It is sad my parents are not here today. I know they really like Duncan and would have been thrilled about the wedding. They really would, actually. I would like to thank everyone who has helped and contributed towards making today a really wonderful occasion, and to everyone who has come to celebrate and make this a marvellous day. And I would like to raise a toast to the bride and groom, Rosanna and Duncan. Bride and groom.
Thank you. I know that it's not normally the job of the maid of honour to do a speech at a wedding, but perhaps we need to remember that Rosie is a bride who managed to anger the vicar with her unorthodox choices at the wedding. She insisted on her own stag do, and she also went through a phase at university of dressing up as a boy and calling herself Ron. So I think it's always fitting with Rosie to have a break from the norm. Carol and I felt really, really honoured when Rosie asked us to be bridesmaids in what has arguably become rather a media circus, thanks to the Daily Mail and the Sun, but has unquestionably been the event of the summer, if not the year. Fantastic. I feel incredibly privileged to be included in the most special day of two people who one Daily Mail online contributor described as complete idiots. A genuine pleasure, so thank you very much. Rosie and I met when we were slightly awkward 13-year-olds, and through mutual social inadequacy, a kind of lifelong friendship was born. And from this I feel that I've learned some really important lessons about how to best handle some of Rosie's more unusual traits, which I feel I can pass on to Duncan now. Obviously it's very, very important to say yes to your new wife whenever possible, as in, get me another cider, or can we watch Knowing Me, Knowing You with Alan Partridge for the 5th time today, yes. However, there are certain things that if you want to survive marriage with Rosie, you absolutely must say no to. And the first of these things is, if Rosie ever asks you if you would like to see her doing a gymnastics display, the answer is always going to be no. While I'm not questioning Rosie's keen sportswoman-like skills, we all remember the time that she won Women of the Match 2001 in bottom set PE. It was a triumph. It remains a case that Rosie and physical activity can be a dangerous combination. You only need to look at my front tooth, and you'll see a small chip which created punctuated by a heady combo of Rosie, highly refreshed, a bottle of Heineken and a Sporty Spice style sidekick to see the danger, so just say no. As I mentioned, Rosie is unquestionably a keen sportswoman, so the second question you must absolutely say no to is if Rosie ever asks you, shall we have an eating competition? The reason you must say no is simple: she will annihilate you. As you only need to speak for Jimmy over there, who Rosie's university flatmate, who attempted such a battle with a KFC bargain bucket and a whole cheesecake, and was left a broken man. You have been warned. And finally, if Rosie ever utters the words to you, do you think I should dye or cut my own hair? You must say no. You must shout no in her face until you run out of breath. Because if you look through the photos circa 2000 to 2006, where evidence suggests Rosie enjoyed a healthy range of purple foreheads, of blonde hair so thoroughly bleached it snap off in your fingers, fringes that left Rosie with a look of constant surprise. There has, however, been an interesting correlation between the time that Rosie's known you, Duncan, and less insane hair. So while you might not have tamed her entirely, you've certainly done good work with her. So stick to these simple rules, and I'm sure you'll have many of your own, and I know your marriage will be as sane as it is enduring. I'm nearly finished, so I'll go on now. I just want to end by saying it's been an absolute joy to have Rosie as a best friend over the past 15 years. And I can honestly say that I've never seen Rosie so content, so relaxed, so smug, and ultimately as happy as she has been since meeting Duncan. So I will ask you all to join me in raising your glasses to the happiness of Mr. and Mrs. Twig. So Mr. and Mrs. Twig.
As usual, this is not going to be normal. Okay, first up, how this is going to work, I'm going to say some things, then everyone has to either clap, cheer, or chink glasses accordingly. So, here we go. Firstly, thank you to the caterers. For providing such a delicious lunch, helping us keep on top of the drinks, tidying up, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to the evening meal too. That's Kate Allen Catering. Thank you in particular everyone who's helped us in the days and months leading up to today, particularly Brian and Matthew for sorting out such a wonderful venue. Could not have asked for a better place and could not have asked for more from either of you. The hard work you've put in leading up to this has been second to none, and we couldn't have wished for anything more from you. So thank you very much. Also thank you to the fantastic photographers / videographers. Without you, we just have to remember how good we all look today. Thank you very much for the actual photos. What a selection of cakes as well. Thank you to Judy, Hannah, and special thanks to Diane as well for making and decorating the wedding cake by herself, which I'm sure you'll agree is a fantastic job. Thank you to all the groomsmen and the newly created position of bridesmen. You've always helped us in lots of different ways. Special thanks to Harry, Jimmy, Tim, Bradwell, Dan and Risky. Hey. Special thanks to our special usher and special bridesmaid as well, my little brother and sister, for anyone who's didn't know. My little brother's perfected the usher slide through little or no practice over the last week, so if you want to see it later then just ask him, and he's more than happy to oblige, aren't you, Elliot?
And how cool does he look as well? Grey suit, white shirt, very tight. And my beautiful sister who delivered a banging reading at the service as well. It's a lot of people to thank actually. To Carol and Eva, Rosie's beautiful bridesmaids. You've always been there for Rosie, which I'm very grateful of, and you've made her look even more beautiful today as well. So, well done. It's a compliment.
Turn on both ways.
Moving on. I just say that. Well done to Chris Trigg, the best man for organising such an excellent stag do ×2, as well as putting up with the 12-round challenges, doing so well. You deserve to win. I'm glad you did, and I'm really proud to have you as my best man for today. And like literally from the heart, I couldn't have wished for anything more. Thank you very much. There are some Sharpies available from over there for when he falls asleep on the dance floor. Not your socks off. And now to the rest of the wedding party, I need the help of Luke to help me finish this off.
Run off. Go.
Has he left?
Oh,
here he is. Forgot to mention. Do this just in case. It's a song. Lincoln, on a Tuesday night, met the girl that I'll be with for the rest of my life. Is that the magic of sugar cubes, or just the effect of the booze? It was probably mainly the booze. Thank you all for coming down here. It probably helped that we provided the beer. I'd like to thank everyone for today in the most unique way. And that leads me to say, bridesmaids, you look great. Saffron, you look so cute. Carol, Eva, you are both beautiful. I wish I could marry you too. Wanna thank you, bushes. I wanna thank. We had 12 rounds to find my best man. After round 1 there was drink on Dan. Come down with Dan with a towel on your head. Wheelbarrow Luke is off dead. And Bradwell's rocket sent us to bed. With Trig, best man. I'm proud that you're best man for me, provided you don't fall to sleep. At least until after your speech. Cheers to the best man. He's also a brother of mine. I love you, brother. Your speech is next, so be kind. Mum and Dad, I'd like to thank you for raising me. You thought that I'd gone wild, then I met Rosie. Thank you for putting up with me through those years. But Dad, say what you want. We won't support Derby. And I'm so glad that you're both such happy lives. And I know I don't tell you enough, but I love you guys. Oh, thank you for everything you've done, Rose and I. Can you please raise your glasses to Kath and Brian?
All the best. There's more.
So next to Brian and Diane, the best in-laws in town, you've made me feel like part of the family whenever I come round. Brian, we've discussed football and the news, but when you mention that Pratt David Beckham, well, I don't know what to reckon, so I just sit there and smile until Big Bang Theory time. You've raised the perfect daughter. Please raise your glasses to my mum and dad-in-law too.
Cheers.
Next up, Mrs. Twig, my new lady wife. Promise to love you for all my life. When you think of all the little things that you do, it makes me love you more. I know you like to laugh when you fart in the bed. You kiss me on the head. And when I say you're beautiful, you tell me that you're not, and it makes no sense to me. Rosie Twig, you've made me the happiest man alive. You said I do, it's true. Everyone, please raise your glass to Rosie. Rosie, beautiful bride. Struggle trying to get you to make a cup of tea. You leave the door wide open when you go for a wee. Probably met across sugar cubes. We knew it was meant to be. I know you've never liked this song from 1D, but now you might like the version about Rosie. You probably want to punch me for singing though, but that's still ABH. I'm looking forward to growing old with you. We'll have 2, maybe 3 little kids to bring up too. And thank you for telling me you do. Here's to everyone that's not in the song. Apologize if you thought it was too long. So please raise your glasses to yourselves, unless you've been mentioned before. And I'm finding it hard to believe we're in Devon. A cue to Luke as well. Lastly, can I just add my wedding to my beautiful bride, who looks absolutely amazing today. Rosie, I'm really happy that we found each other, and I'm even happier that you're my wife now. We've always picked each other up whenever we felt down. We've always been honest with each other, and I know we're going to be very happy together for a long, long time, and I hope you enjoyed the song.
Right, can all the children just cover their ears? Seriously. Oh. Right, well, I don't know what to say after that. That was fantastic. I'll better crack on, shall I? So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Duncan's brother Chris. I've known him for 29 years now. Unlucky me. As Duncan said, I'll probably be the one that's on the dance floor asleep in the corner later on, so you'll not miss me. But like you said, if you do grab the Sharpies and draw on me, I'd like something a little bit arty, if that's possible. I'll go through a few thanks, so just to stop me being the most drunkest person in the room later on, the more I do this, the more you get drunk. Okay, so the first cheers go to, well, thank you more than anything to Rosie for picking such stunning bridesmaids. I did specify single. We can't have it all, can we? Saffron, you look absolutely stunning today. Elliot, you stay away from those girls, mate. Cheers to Saffron and Elliot. Cheers to the bridesmaids. Get some down you, please. Thank you to Rosie's parents, Diane, and to Brian, for, as well as making Duncan feel really comfortable, they've also made me feel really comfortable every time I've met them. Apart from Brian's hatred for Man United, everything's been pretty smooth sailing. Mum, Dad, you did alright with Dunk, considering. That's all I'll say about that. It must have been tough. Rosie, you look beautiful today. I'll say more about you in a bit. Okay. So, on to Duncan Alistair Twig, that brother of mine. When Duncan asked me to be his best man... Oh, that didn't happen, did it? When Duncan put me through 18 months of hell, the challenge to be his best man. So you have to excuse me, I'm a bit nervous. You know, he's put me through dancing in front of people, doing a speech in front of people, making money out of a tenner. Hopefully the children don't know what that means. Anyway, I thought, what an honour to go through this lengthy process just to be Duncan's best man. What an honour. What an honour. And as Eva alluded to, we've also had some coverage from the Daily Mail. I'm sure everybody here loves the Daily Mail, but this is what some of the readers said. I don't know who's sadder, him or the fools for doing the challenges. I wouldn't want to be best man to my brother if he couldn't just choose me straight away without all these ridiculous tests. Poor James didn't stand a chance. I think that one was actually written by James. What a child. Also, Rosanna, wow, stunner. Not too late to marry me instead.
Got loads of red arrows though, that one did.
It did, but it was by accountant, I love accountants, 1, 2, 3.
That was my assistant at work that wrote that.
She didn't know she wrote it either.
But in all seriousness, you know, it was a bit of a crazy thing to do, but it's Duncan all over, as you've just seen with his rather lovely singing voice. He doesn't do things by halves. But like as a group of friends, I think it's made Dan, myself, Bradwell, and Luke closer as a group of friends, and we probably all hate Duncan the same amount now, which is good. Anyway, so I came into this competition, and now I'm standing here in front of you as best man. So I did struggle consciously today whether I was going to give Duncan a proper roasting, or whether I was going to be the nice, relaxed, laid-back brother that didn't make you look like a fool in front of everyone else. Therefore, well, you've already done that today. So, cheers for that, brother. And also, if I ever get married, I hope you'll take it lightly on me as well. So, I'm not going to tell people about on the stag do when we went to the trouble of buying you a 4-foot-long Subway with all your favourite ingredients, putting it on the table in front of you, seeing your face light up, opening it, still with a big grin on your face, opening it up and going, "It's got salad." That's effort there. I'm not going to tell you about the time you ruined Christmas for us when we were both out on the razzle the night before, and Duncan came home and thought it'd be a good idea to cook a vindaloo. And he put the chips in the oven to have with the vindaloo, not realising the turkey was in there. I don't know how he didn't realise it. The oven's this big. Therefore, ruining Christmas and overcooking the turkey. And I'm definitely not going to tell you about the night he met Rosie.
Oh, God.
Duncan's already alluded to the fact that it was a place called Sugar Cubes in Lincoln. I'm sure some of you guys know it well. The fact that you probably had piss on the floor to about a feet. All the drinks are £1 each. This is probably where the magic happened. But I just remember picking him up the next day from somewhere. And he had the biggest grin on his face. Told me he spent all night watching Alan Partridge. Sorry, Rose. A lot of you might not know, Duncan and myself growing up, we weren't the easiest of children to handle, and we didn't really get along very well at all. We used to fight over absolutely anything. For example, the first time he even met me, and my mum will vouch for me on this, and my grandma would if she was here. The first time he met me, he looked over into the cot, reached his hand out to me, and punched me in the face. There's loads of little stories. Another one, when he was 3, I was 1 or 2. He put me in my pushchair and thought it might be a good idea to roll me out into the middle of the street to leave me there. He obviously saw a threat early on, and you were right to feel threatened. I didn't get all the looks. I'm not meant to laugh at that bit. As I got older, things didn't get much better. Duncan and I used to fight over absolutely anything. We used to share bunk beds at my dad's house. He used to make it his life's mission to either make clicking sounds or steal the duvet covers of the bunk bed, kick the mattress, just anything to make me shout "Dad." But then Dad would run in and he'd be blaming both of us. And Duncan didn't care what he did. He didn't care if he didn't get any sleep as long as I had a bad night's sleep. So cheers for that, brother. There was the night that he went camping on the 4th green of the golf course. I think George mentioned this the other night. Thinking that he'd be able to stay there all night, lit a fire. I think it was one of your first drinking experiences. A few bottles of White Lightning. 2020. Classy lad. And then the police managed to find them and bring them home. I was sat on the stairs like a smug little brother. I had the upper hand for a good few years. So I managed to keep up being number 1 son for a long while with Duncan, just because he was such an arsehole. So I'd done pretty well. And then in 2007, in Lincoln, on my work leaving do, I don't even know if I invited him, but he came anyway. He came to Lincoln for my work leaving do. We went to Sugar Cubes, and that's the night that Duncan met Rosie. And from that day, things changed. Duncan changed. He became number 1 son. He grew up and left me down here, shaking her head disapprovingly at all the things I'd do. Well done. But going forward, I've got no doubt whatsoever that Duncan and Rosie will be massively happy, and they'll both get everything they want out of life. Like I said, I've seen a massive change in Duncan, and he's the most unselfish person in terms of keeping Rosie happy. So you'll be very happy. I have seen a massive change in him, but he's still a knob. Sorry, guys. And if
Or a penguin.
and if and when they do have children, or a penguin. If and when they do have children, if Alan the cat is anything to go by, I'm sure they'll do really well. Really great job. And I'll try not to be Uncle Knobhead as much as I can. In essence, Duncan, I didn't like you very much, but today I can tell you I'm very proud of how you've turned out. So, at this point, I believe I'm supposed to give you some advice, and I'm probably not the best person to be giving you some advice, so I did a little bit of research and tried to find somebody that might give you some inspiration. So a wise man once said, is Alan Partridge, those first couple of years will fly by like a car doing 50 in a 30 zone. Maybe even 60 in a 30 zone. Depends who you ask. Duncan, Rosie, I love you, in a way. So if everyone would stand and sit down, no, raise a glass to Duncan and Rosie. Hope you have a very happy marriage. Cheers.
Duncan and Rosie.
Let's get drunk!